All right, the title of this video is I, Pet Goat 2. Pet Goat was the name of the story read on 9/11, right? Whenever the planes were hitting. This was George Bush at Booker Elementary School, 9/11/2001.
Figures under the title of the story. Get ready.
The pet goat.
Yes, the pet goat. Fingers up.
Okay, so while the planes are hitting 9/11, and of course this has reference to the scene in the classroom in the Pet Goat video too, they were reading a story called The Pet Goat. So this obviously, taking into account as well all the imagery that ties into the first 9/11, has reference to Pet Goat 2, sequel to 9/11. That's what it means. Okay. Now, as such, I want to point something out. When you look at the logo, okay, this is the completed logo. The letters turn gold, but initially, they're not all gold. All right, you can see some are white, some are red. And the way that it is, the vowels are the white letters, okay? The consonants are the red letters. But the I, as it falls down to make the I and then the comma and then pet goat, that's the T, and then 2. The I is the only vowel that is not white. It's red. Okay, you see right there, it's red. Why is the vowel I red? And I'm submitting to you that it is a hint that it is to be taken as a consonant as well. That is a capital H. Okay, so as such, it is not only a I, but it's a H. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? It's red, just like all the other consonants. All the vowels are white. Why is the I not white? That's because it's also a consonant. That is, it's an H. It's an I in one sense because it's up and down, but it's an H in another sense because it's red. Now, having that in mind, understanding that it's talking about 9/11, check this out. Okay, we got I, and then pet goat, and then 2. Okay, that's the Roman numerals for 2. Okay, now I is the 9th letter of the alphabet. Two, this is a 1 and a 1 put together. That's 2 ones. So you got 9/11 with pet goat in the middle. Okay, and that's a reference to 9/11 too. But as an H, okay, because it is dark, or excuse me, because it's red, you have, let me change colors here. You have H, and that's the 8th letter of the alphabet. And then when you have the 2, you could take it as the 2nd, okay, or the sequel. And so the 8th letter of the alphabet is, or the 8th month of the year is August. It's called 9/11 because it happened September 11th, and September is the 9th month of the year. And so 9th month of the year, you got September. '11th, and that's what makes it 9/11. Okay, and so why is the vowel red? Why is it red? It's because it's supposed to be taken as a H. Has to be. I mean, that's the only thing that makes logical sense. Why else would it be red? There is a pattern here of white vowels, red consonants. So that's a red consonant as well. That's a capital H. And if the 9 stands for September, then the H, capital H, being consistent, would stand for August. Okay. And it pertains to the year of the dog. You see the dog there. We see
Hi guys, so this is a quick video, not going to take much of your time. As you can see, I've got the beginning of the IPG2 video section, the IPG2 words cut out and turned upside down, because I'm realizing, have realized that a lot of the messages that they've conveyed in this video are upside down, backwards, or mirrored, or even reversed, same as backwards, but instead of it being a backwards image, you can have backwards audio, like with George Bush and the August phrase. The blocks that are in red, highlighted in red, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 blocks. These blocks here, or all of the blocks actually, interpret as numbers. When you flip them upside down, the T becomes a 7, quite clear. The G becomes a 9, again, quite clear. The T again is a 7. And the P becomes the letter D, which is the 4th letter of the alphabet. If you add 7, 9, 7, and 4, you get 27. And then off to the side here, you've got the I, which could be flipped to a H, which it does look like when it's tumbling down to form this IPG2 title, is taken as the letter number 8. It's taken as the number 8 from the letter H. So another possible 27th of August reference. Now it's the 27th of August today, 2:58 in the morning over here in the UK, and looking out for a lot of different types of events, whether that's connected with Kilauea, Hawaii, a tsunami, earthquake, nuclear missile, something happening over in the Middle East in reference to Iran and Israel, London, the transport network, biological or chemical attack. There's a lot of different things that are on the table. I haven't really considered it all happening in one day because there's a lot of different events that we talked about, and all of them seem to be on the cards at some point. And if that was all to happen on one day, well, that would be catastrophe and chaos on a scale that I couldn't really verbalize. So that's why I've got it in a staggered timeline, with if something happens today, the 27th, that being connected up until the 2nd of September, where there may be a connection with New York. Again, that's another place that's referenced in the video. Obviously, that's where the first 9/11 event took place. If nothing does happen today, on the 27th of August 2018, on the Gregorian calendar, then as I've mentioned, we've got the Julian calendar, which is the last calendar left to use in connection with this timeline. I'm still sticking with the same numbers, so 1723 on the lunar calendar is 27th of August to the 2nd of September on the Gregorian calendar, which is the 9th of September to the 15th of September on the Julian calendar. So keeping a watch out across all those timelines. Today I'll be keeping a watch out across the entire world's time zone, so I won't put off watching until the 27th has passed in the last time zone in the world, which means it's a good couple of hours to go. At least there will be 12 hours after the UK passes on to the 28th, where the rest of the world will be moving on to the 27th slowly as the time zones pass by. So, you guys, I just what I wanted to, along with all the other connections we pointed out, excuse me, in reference to the 27th of August, the 17th lunar day, and the 7th lunar month. Here's another one. The IPG2 title flipped upside down, the red blocks becoming numbers, and those numbers translate into the 27th of August. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.
August 27th, or 8/27, is the 239th day, leaving 126 days left. Okay, so Bruko, my brother, Bruno, from Poland, he has a channel called Bruko, BRU space KO, and he has been decoding and deciphering the Simpsons shows and movie, things like that, all the Simpsons stuff, and some other things. But we have talked recently, and he was looking at 8/11 too, and then it didn't happen, and he wasn't sure about when that was, and then he's watched my video since, and I'm just thankful for his heart and his desire to warn as well. Just like me, we're both about our Father's business, and I think about my brother Jeff as well. He has a channel as well, and we've been working together, all of us, and some others as well. Like I've mentioned, S. Bond had, Q, I have S. So there's just so many things that, if we would work together to solve this stuff instead of being egos and things, that we'd come to a lot more conclusions. So we have, thankfully, the Spirit of God has worked in all of us. It's just been amazing. So he sent me this. In fact, we were looking over this when 8/11 was coming as a possibility, and I want to give that as a background here. But then also what this scene shows in The Simpsons is not only 8/11 but something else. So so Homer is swatting at this eagle, which of course represents the United States. Okay, and then Bart tries to climb up this bookcase with a bag to try to bag it. Okay, and then he ends up bagging Homer and the eagle at the same time, which is all metaphorical for just basically bagging the United States and the people, basically. But right here, when he stopped it, he saw this. And this is all messaging. He's decoded so many things in The Simpsons. He's done a great job. And some things are a lot harder to see. If you have eyes to see it, you can see it. Some things are easier to see. And this is one a little bit easier to see. And he laid it out here. So his triangular hair right here basically points. It's like a little slash here. On one side is 11, and then on the other side of this slash is 5 and 12. 5 plus 12 is 17. 1 plus 7 then, and 17 would be 8. That's 11, 8, and that's what he shows here. Okay, but then what he did was recently, when I started decoding what this really means on the Julian calendar, because the Julian calendar is 16 days off, like I've shared in my videos. These part 1, and also talking about part 2 and part 3. Is that it's off by 16 days purposefully, so people don't know. 8/11's all over the place in media, movies, TV, all that kind of stuff, along with 923 and some other things like 88 and 888 and things like that, but they all relate to the same stuff. Okay, they all are the same code, basically, in a sense. The same basic code is 811 or 118, and there's derivations of that, but they all add up to the same things, and I'll show you that. It is a master code, 811 or 8111, either one, but those are master codes. Okay, so let me show you this. So this is after he bags the eagle inside and Homer, and that represents the United States, like I said. And then there's this calendar again. Of course, it says August right here. And like I said before, in iPad 2, George Bush, if you play it backwards like Julian T found, he says August, and so that's super substantial. And I'm saying it's super possible that these attacks are going to happen in August with all this predictive programming, with all these numbers. It's pretty crazy. So let's get to it here. So if you zoom in on August calendar right here, what do you see? Look at the dates here. What do you see? I'll give you a second to see, or you can pause it. What do you see? Pause it if you want to play along here. Otherwise, here I go. No, August 27th. That is striking to me. That is very striking. No, August 27th. And like I showed earlier in this slide, here, go back. It's 11/8 or 8/11, and then it's also showing no August, because there's August right here, right? August, and no 27 right here. No 27. So that even more proves the difference between August 11th and August 27th, which is 16 days, which is the 8 plus 8, which is the 88. In fact, right here, The difference between, let me go back here, difference between the 20 and the 28 is 8. And then difference between the 21 and the 29 is 8. And then there's the 27th. So we have the 88 right here.